Hello, hello. Thank you, everyone, for coming this morning. So I've been told we're actually the first session on the last day of Mad Sports. So thanks, everyone, for being here bright and early. They asked us to open this one up because they knew we'd still be awake from the night before. Guys, how are we feeling?
Yeah, man, I feel good, thank you. Hay fever's hit me a little bit, but I had 2 coffees, so I feel good, man.
Great, great.
I'm warm, and I've got a pair of shorts in my bag waiting to be put on. So this is it, the last appearance of the trousers.
Day 3 veterans here. They know what to expect.
Dean actually turned down the opportunity to wear a 2002 World Cup England shirt in favour of a long-sleeve collar, so don't feel too bad for him if he's hot.
So we're going to talk about football today, but in a strange course of events, I'd actually like to kick off with F1. So who here has watched an F1 race today? No one? Who watched one this week? I see one hand. Who here played an F1 game to kick off the session? Anyone? Yeah, a lot of us. And so that's a perfect segue into what we're talking about today, which is basically the theme of sport beyond the 90 minutes and why there's so many other ways to connect with sports fans, in our case, football fans, who love the game in so many different ways that are not actually maybe what you think of with the match itself, the highlights, or the sort of punditry around it. So first, I'd like to start off by just introducing my friends on stage here. So, but before that, I'll introduce myself. So I'm James. I work at Footballco. We own a number of football news brands all across the world and operate a network of YouTube channels and social media channels. One of our brands, the Front Three, is actually on later today, I think at 12:30, so come back and check those guys out. They're going to do a live show. It'll be really fun. But now over to you guys. So first, Matt, can you tell us a little bit about Mundial?
Yeah, so Mundial started life as a one-off magazine for the 2014 World Cup. Just a group of mates started it off because they liked each other, they liked football, they liked print publishing. And that magazine went really, really well. Things snowballed very, very quickly. Eventually, they managed to take it full-time. It became a quarterly magazine, a big presence on social, and a creative agency as well. And then I joined about a year ago. I'm a long-term Mundial subscriber, of course.
As am I, actually.
Yeah. But so now we run still the quarterly magazine, which is like our baby, where the Mundial universe starts, I guess. And then we've got a website which publishes 5 original features a week, as well as various video and audio products and socials. And to explain what we do, I mean, it's a tagline that they picked up when they were sort of squatting in the Copper 90 offices a long time ago, but it's reminding you why you love football. So not so much transfer stuff, not so much match reports, mix of nostalgia, travel pieces, people doing cool things in the football space. Yeah, that's what we do, remind people why they love football.
A rich tapestry of football love in all different ways. And then joining us on stage is Dean Stobbart, the founder of 44 Tunes. Dean, what can you tell us about 44 Tunes?
Yeah, we are the Ridiculous World of Football animated, and here's a little cartoon we made earlier.
Trent wants Real Madrid, so I'll tell you what I want, what I really want.
So tell us what you want, what you really want.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really want.
He's telling what he wants, what he really wants.
I wanna, really wanna be a Madridista. Real is my future, forget your past. Do you wanna get with me? Yeah, that was fast. Carvajal is fading. What? I think it's time.
What?
Pull yourselves together, we will be just fine. So I'll tell you what I want, what I really want.
So tell us what you want, what you really want.
I wanna. He wants to really wants to be a Madridista.
If you want to be a right back, you got to learn to defend.
You cannot play for Real just cause you're Jude's best friend. Yes, I wanna be a right back. I'm gonna learn to defend. I'm gonna play for Real with Jude, my bestest friend.
So tell me what they want, what they really want. So tell us what you want, what you really want.
I wanna
really wanna be a Madridista.
Boom. If you can't beat them, join them.
Wow. Okay, I have a couple questions. First off, how did you get Trent to sing that?
Yeah, so it's me doing all the voices badly. But yeah, we look at the football world and just create silly cartoons and look for the really fun side of it and telling the story beyond the real content, the official content. And Yeah, it's been good. Been doing it for 10 years. I think we've got about 8 million followers across all platforms, and we do between 50 and 70 million views a month across all platforms.
What's your biggest platform?
YouTube's our biggest. That's where we're most popular, but TikTok's picking up really well, and we just reduce the content down for other platforms who can't handle more than 1 minute brain time.
So back to the session theme. I mean, two very different types of publications, but both obviously remind fans why they love football in different ways. I'll ask you back in sequence, like, what is it, do you think, at the core that makes fans want to read or subscribe to Mundial?
Yeah, sure. I think, to be honest, we're being brutally honest, there's a lot of reasons to dislike a lot of things that are happening in football. You know, you have to just read the news, basically. I mean, it's very, very difficult to get to games for that core working class contingent who football was built off the backs of, basically. And what Mundial tries to do, I guess, is just talk about everything else around it. That the reason that I go to football personally isn't necessarily about, you know, Florian Wirtz signing for Liverpool, where he's going to fit into that tactical system. I go because I want to have a great day with my mates, and I want to do the thing that I love. So, yeah, we try to, like, remind people why they love football. I know I'm saying it a lot, but I just think it's the best tagline anyone's ever come up with, to be honest. Like, I think it just cuts into so much dissatisfaction with the top level of the game in particular. And, yeah, that's what Mundial is hopefully here to do.
And Dean, same question to you. I'll also say, you know, I started watching that tune and I was like, what is this? And then by the end I was like, I'll tell you what. And I got a little wrapped up in it, I think.
It's just because you're a Spice Girls fan, isn't it?
Well, guilty. So tell me, why do you think fans love 4-4 tunes? What are you tapping into?
For me, it might sound cheesy, but it's that we are less boring than almost all football content, which is certainly when I was putting it together in 2014, looking at the sterile kind of brand content, club content that is squeaky clean and just all very gushing, that we got the chance to kind of have fun with it, play with it. People come back for the songs, they love that, the catchy side of it. We do a lot of challenge videos. And that's it. It's just that I keep coming back to it, the ridiculous world of football animated, because the football does the ridiculous side, and we just get to capture that in a cartoon, and people enjoy it.
This is the Footballco research note. Our audience research team, which is constantly polling football fans all over the world, has unearthed an insight that the majority of Gen Z fans want football to be entertaining more than anything else. Entertainment is the number one thing they care about. It's more important than being tribal and club focused. It's more important than being relatable or informative or education. It's all about entertainment. So I think, do you guys feel like you entertain fans then? Is that an aspect? Because I mean, Spice Girls, I was entertained. But how would Mundial describe its role in the sort of entertainment part of the brain?
Yeah, I think, well, Mundial has always kind of tried to craft this language where you feel like you're part of the tribe. So right from the early days of the magazine is very, very similar to Loaded in that way. Like, there'd be loads of in-jokes about everyone's favourite sitcoms, about music, about film, with a football slant. And that's something we try and do to this day, basically. I think why people are entertained by Mundial is because it's not for everyone, but the people that it is for and the way that we talk to them and communicate through print, website, social, podcast, everything, once you're in, you feel like you're part of a tribe, and hopefully people find the jokes we make funny.
So you make, in your coverage, the stories you write, you make basically in-jokes. You have a sense of humor that's unique to the publication.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And Dean, obviously, humor is key to what you do. I should maybe be asking, have you ever made a serious cartoon? Are they all fun?
Yeah, we've made some serious cartoons, more looking back at the legends of Pele and Maradona to kind of summarize their lives and things like that. So we do serious ones, but 99% is looking at the fun side, and as you said, being entertained.
Do you think that there's a lack generally of football coverage and content that is fun in that way? Like, do you feel like both of, because what I've, as different as Mundial the magazine and 4-4 Tunes the YouTube channel may be, you've both just said that neither of you take it too seriously. And I'm just wondering, from your point of view, as you know far more than I do, I think, about the general ecosystem, does that make you on an island with just a few other brands, or is there quite a lot of people out there who are having fun?
I guess so. I feel like legacy media is fairly dry for its own reasons, of course. But I feel like there is a pretty large community of people basically taking the piss. I mean, Twitter is dead now for obvious reasons, but I always go back to that like 2014 World Cup. I've written about it in the magazine, actually. It's like the history of football memes. I mean, you know, what a life I lead. But they're generally, they're generally like, I don't want to get too weird about it, but I felt like that was such an amazing time for football. Like, in particular, that sort of 2014 World Cup, where like they were just, it felt like you really felt like you were just like with your mates, like you were watching this World Cup, like brilliant World Cup, and people were just like banging out memes like left, right, and centre, and they're just so good. Like, and they had this sort of authentic sort of way about communicating about football that just, you know, it's weird, but like I just, people from that time, like they're almost like celebrities to me. Like I list off like Johnny Sharples, like Carl Anka. People just being really funny about football, and they're still doing it, of course. But I don't know, just the world is a lot less. You know, there's a lot more going on, isn't there? There's less to make a laugh about.
I worked with Carl Anker at that time, and I actually am learning for the first time that he was a football meme lord secretly on Twitter, apparently.
Yeah, he is the king of the memes. He's a great example, actually, of someone who probably crosses the line between being really serious. Like he's a mate, like the way he talks about football, absolutely amazing. But also, he's just a really funny guy as well. I feel like we need a bit more of that, you know.
And Dean, do you guys reference meme culture at all in your cartoons? I'm curious, like, if you could speak more generally, because obviously, okay, there was a few references in there. I'm sure some of you picked up on them to other cultural themes and football themes that were subtle and interwoven. So, do you intentionally, in your creative process, try and touch on topical meme culture or pop culture?
Yeah, definitely the meme side of it, and things that I see on Twitter or other angles that you'll pick up, memes or GIFs or things that are trending. Or you were mentioning Salt Bae before, when he was at the peak of his notoriety in the World Cup.
Oh, indulge me for 30 seconds. 2022 World Cup, that is the end. No one, Francis Fukuyama spoke about the end of history. 2022 World Cup final, that's the end of football. We're in a new era now. Salt Bae out on the pitch, stealing the trophy from Lionel Messi. Like, that's wow.
So that was an example
Adam Curtis, next documentary should be about that.
I think you need a massage. Yeah. You need to calm down. Yeah, I can see the blood boiling in your eyes.
Someone, if there's anyone who can fund that film, I'd love to make it.
So yes, we do. So Salt Bae being there, immediately you go, let's put him in, because you want the audience, they resonate with memes and GIFs and all that, and it's hard because you don't want to go too far into what the teenagers call the brain rot territory of switching people off stop doing that, it's embarrassing, or cringe. And
so
all
there
that.
is substance to it. Like, it's not just mindless entertainment, right? Brain rot. Like, you're connecting to things that make people not just watch one time, but subscribe, follow you.
Yeah, and we have our own kind of things as well that people come back for, catchphrases and slogans that we'll put in if people like it. And we have Lamon Yamal, for example, as a toddler. So people just love that when he speaks. So we just keep him being a toddler in the cartoons as a drawing to returning subscribers.
Basically, he's a toddler, to be fair.
Yeah, There's been a lot of press about how he's only 17. Are you going to keep him as a toddler forever? Like, in 10 years, will he still be a toddler?
Well, one of my comments yesterday was it's his 18th birthday, so we need to show him as a man. But I just like him too much as a cute little toddler in it. So I think we'll see how long I can milk the joke.
He's 17 until he's 18, right? That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask if each of you could share, maybe we'll go in reverse order this time, and you'll start, Dean. Share from amongst, I'm assuming, hundreds, thousands of cartoons made from you and hundreds of stories written. What's been your favorite, Dean? Could you pick one that's like that you've done that comes to mind that's maybe one of your top projects that you worked on?
Probably one of our most favorite cartoons was one on MSN, the Messi, Suarez, and Neymar trio that kind of exploded not long after the 2014 World Cup. And that was really popular. Kind of everyone, whenever I meet anyone that's a fan, they always go back to that cartoon. And it was just a celebration song of their brilliance. Suarez.
What was the tune?
The song was just, I think it was a Britney Spears classic. So we've hit Spice Girls and Britney Spears here. It's not my music taste, but never mind. So it was just them being brilliant on the pitch. Everyone latched onto it. And even now, there's still TikToks that go viral with our original sound in it using this song from 2014 that we made. So yeah, that's probably my favorite. That's great.
And Matt, what about you? Favorite thing you've done?
Yeah, you've sprung that one upon me, but I probably would go with one of our most recent one of the cover stories from our most recent issue. It was called Sapphic Love in Women's Football, basically. So I used to work as a journalist in women's football, basically, and it was just sort of covered in a very dry way. But something that I don't think's ever really been properly explored and celebrated is like the gay culture in women's football. So Rosie Hewitson wrote 4,000 words on that, basically, from like grassroots teams where they're all ex-girlfriends to like the fact that everybody knows who's dating each other at the very top level of the game. But it's kind of like people just don't talk about it. And for like, just talking about women's football generally, like I think there's people who are trying to turn it into this family-friendly thing, but that sort of gay community has been there for years, 10, 15 years, and like I don't think that story was ever properly told and celebrated. So yeah, proud of that one.
That's very cool, and a very different twist on why people love football, right? Yeah. Because it has a very personal and emotional connection for some people, which might be their entrance into the game itself, which is quite cool. I think that's a great point, that it's hidden in plain sight and yet not discussed, because it has virtually nothing to do with the 90 minutes itself or with what you see in the traditional outfits. That's cool. Okay, I think we might be running short on time, so I wanted to close with both of you sharing maybe something that's looking outside of your own brands for a second, something that you love that reminds you why you love football, maybe from broader culture, something else you've seen online or other that you think is a great example of what we're talking about today.
I go back to the 1996 Euros with Baddiel and Skinner's Three Lions song, which kind of summed up for me my teenage years, getting into football, and that was for the FA to bring out a really kind of silly song with these two guys. It was kind of like a defining moment that summed up the tournament, and even now it's transcended, 30 years, and it's still going now. So that was a real memory of my teenage years loving football, even though we lost and didn't win it in the end. But never mind.
Yeah. I'm just going to talk about myself. I apologise, but this is from like April this year. So I'm from a place called Gosport, which is near Portsmouth, and I support the non-league team there. I moved to London about 3 years ago, and I'm hopelessly addicted, so I still go back to their games. And I just go back to the last game of last season. We'd had a pretty shit season, to be honest, finished mid-table. And I just turned up on my own, trained down to Gloucester, like 2.5 hours, horrendous journey. And I was like, oh man, why do I do this? I remember just walking through the gates at the Tiger Turf Stadium in Gloucester. I just turn up and there's like 40 people that I've known for 10, 15 years. And they're all wearing like Baywatch t-shirts, but it says Borough Watch on. And then I watch the game, like speak to them all, have a few drinks, drive home. And like, that's so good. And something brands should try and remember as well, like, football fans are often talked about in quite an abstract way, but like match-going fans are still here and they need to be properly serviced, because at the end of the day, you've got nothing to sell if the stadiums aren't open.
Yeah, great point.
Have a few drinks, drive home.
No, sorry, I was not driving. I got the Great Western Railway service to Paddington. Sorry.
So you mentioned brands there for a second. Do both of your brands work with brands? Can you help brands find their love for football?
Yep. Something we should probably mention is the Mundial Puma King. Absolutely bonkers. We got to do that. That's like 442 making a Night Tiempo or versus making a Adidas Predator. Neither of them have been asked to do that, by the way.
You worked with Puma.
With Puma. So Puma actually approached Owen Blackhurst just based on 10 years of good publishing and creating an authentic community, and then agreed, well, would you like to do a Puma King? Yes, probably, I would say, if that's okay. So they go to Herzo, they go down to the archive, all this dust, got Maradona's Puma Kings down there, Pele's fucking Puma Kings, all that stuff. And then Alex Patekis designs the boot, it gets released. It is just amazing. Like, it's got nods to Mundial's 10 years of history. It's an amazing boot, and I would say you go buy it, but I think we sold them all out, unfortunately.
Oh. Shame.
But yeah, that's just amazing. Like, it's a real great example of Mundial's cultural capital, and that's built by being authentic. That's built by hosting events that aren't shit, and that's built from still being there, committed to reminding people why they love football, basically.
Dean, what about you?
Yes.
Open for business?
Yeah, we do. We do a lot of official cartoons for the Bundesliga, which is the German league. So that's really amazing that we get to make official content for them. But we also work with brands on our channel to integrate them and reach our audience. So different approaches.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to the kickoff panel here on day 3 at Mad Sports, and thanks Mad Sports for having us. Gentlemen, any last words?
No?
Up the gospel.
Thank you.